Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. We are from Group 2, are student of Bachelor Degree of Office Administration Education, Faculty Economics, State University of Jakarta. We are going to present about preparing successful interview. Before we presentation, let me introduce our group member. My name is Ajeng Sela Pramesti, and there Anissa Nurmalahayati, Dava Shalsabila, Eva Lianti Vivian Lasma, and Muhammad Hamdi Ali. And now you can watch our presentation.
On the first slide, I will explain what to do before, during, and after an interview. An interview is basically a structured conversation in which one person asks questions and the others respond. What should you do before the interview? The first step is to assess. You must be aware of your strength and weakness, as well as your like and dislike and your goals. The second is prepare and practice. You must know the industry, the company, the competitors, and the interviewer. Having relevant background details will help you find out how to best prepare yourself for the interview. And then practice answering interview question is also an interview strategy. The third is routine. Create your schedule for the day for the interview. Example, set an alarm and setting up dress for the interview. What do you do during the interview? Follow the 6 points. The first is body language. Nonverbal contact include body language and gesture. This mode of communication may provide an image of person's talk or emotion. Body language you can use is smile, handshake, eye contact, and posture. The second is networking. If you have met someone else at the company, let them know right away. It's a good way for the start an interview. The third is focus. If you put in a lot of effort at work, the result will always be directly proportional to your expectation. The fourth is authenticity and honesty. Never make any false claim about yourself during the interview. Interviewers will be on the lookout for any misrepresentation. Next is question to ask toward the end of the interview. The last one is question your next step. That's why you know what you are going to do next. After the interview is over, don't forget to send thank you note. And then don't forget you also create the follow-up strategy. You should take the next step to improve your chance of being called back for the interview or receiving a job offer. Dress for success for your industry. When you are interviewed for a job, first impressions are critical. You are marketing yourself for a potential employer, and the first thing they see is your clothing. What dressing for success means to you will depend on the industry in which you work. Make sure you dress proper job level, wear clean, flattering colors, and press clothing. Use accessories to express style and flair. For women, you can use classic pantsuit, skirt suit, or work dress. And for men, you can use wear short and sweat with solid color.
Preparing for an interview. Preparing for an interview primarily means taking time to thoughtfully consider your goals and qualification relative to the position and employer. To accomplish this, you should perform research on the company and carefully review the job description to understand why you would be a good fit. Let's look at the steps to preparing for an interview. First, read and review the job description. You have received a call for that dream job. So, how do you prepare for the interview? The first step in the preparation process should be to go back and review the job description. Most job descriptions follow a similar pattern and are usually categorized by the following points. Point number 1, job title and department. Point number 2, duties and tasks. Point number 3, skill required. Second, research the company. Researching the company you're applying to is an important part of preparing for an interview. Not only will it help provide context for your interview conversation, but it will also help you when preparing thoughtful questions for your interviewers. Third, practice. It's important to make a positive and lasting impression during the interview process. You can do this by practicing a confident, strong speaking voice and friendly and open body language. While this may come naturally to you, you may also want to spend time performing them with trust friends or family or in front of a mirror. After you are finished, request their feedback. What was done particularly well, what could have been done differently, whether there was anything you should change or left out. Pay special attention to your smile, handshake, and stride. Prepare some questions for the interviewers. Many employers feel confident about candidates who ask thoughtful questions about company and the position. You should take time before the interview to prepare several questions for your interviewers that show you've researched the company and are well versed about the position. Question the interviewer might ask: can you tell me something about yourself? This is usually an invitation to talk about yourself on personal, but not intimate level. Stress such points as your family background, length of time in the community, work with community groups, hobbies, and interests. And by focusing on your work experience, work values, aptitudes, and qualities and how these are relevant to the job in question. What are your future plans? Describe your specific career plans and how this job fits into these plans. Next one, why do you want to work here? You want to emphasize how this position will use your existing skills and develop additional skills. You might also mention the company's reputation as a leader in the industry, a fair employer, and a good corporate citizen. Its reputation for providing high-quality training to staffs and other relevant considerations. Can you work under pressure and deadlines? This question usually indicates that pressure is a feature of the job. Use examples from your work, school, and personal life to illustrate your ability to handle pressure and deadlines. Why did you leave your last employer? Or why do you want to leave your present employer? Mention acceptable reason for leaving a job such as layoff, illness, relocation or retraining, or wanting a new challenge. If you are fired, be honest about the reason and explain why you think you will be a good employee now. What are your strengths? Your strengths should present you as an efficient and commitment worker who can perform the job competently. Other strengths required in every job are honesty, dependability, enthusiasm, and cooperation. Mention them if appropriate. What are your weaknesses or limitations? This question may sometimes be praised in more subtle ways. Mention one or two shortcomings in a way that is not damaging. You can do this by mentioning a weakness that is a mirror of one of your assets, or by mentioning those that are easily remedied. How would you see yourself in 5 years' time? This is a question that aims to see your personal vision and needs to show indirectly how the advertised job in this specific organization will help you to get there. Why should I hire you? Your answer should stress how your skill and experience benefit the company and help meet the company's goals. If you are being hired to address a specific problem, explain how you question you can ask. Many people waste this opportunity to ask questions. They choose to answer that there was nothing more to ask. In fact, asking questions can be a sign that you really pay attention and are interested in the job you are applying for. This can be a plus for you in the eyes of a recruiter. The question like, do you have any question about my resume? Can you tell me more about responsibilities of this job? What possibilities are there for promotion and advancement if I do a good job? What are the future plans of the company, etc. There are some tips on coming across well in an interview. Arrive early for the interview. Arrive early before the interview so that the interviewer doesn't know too wide. It's very important that you are courteous and apologetic to your interviewer. Dress to impress. The first impression matters more than you will want, and it is visual expression that is first notable. Therefore, choosing the right clothing is necessary. Everything from hair to toes should be clean and presentable. Focus on personal hygiene. Shower right before the interview, have a clean shave, and dress up nicely. Get the interviewer's correct name and use it during the interview. If you don't know name the interviewing, this is a rookie error and it really does make you look unprepared and indifferent. Smile and be ready to shake hands firmly. You should always shake hands with your interviewers. Smile, be firm, and don't hold on for too long. Be friendly and the interviewer will good impression for you. Body language and direct eye contact are key. Maintain a positive body language throughout the interview. Speak clearly and in full sentence. Smile frequently and make eye contact. During questioning, sit upright. Listen to the question and try to answer as clearly and concisely as possible. Remain standing until you are invited to sit. Don't sit before interviewer asks you to sit. Be courteous. Don't bring your personal problems to the interview. This is not the time and place to bring up issues you may have with your ex, or children, or any other family issues that affect your personal life. You are strongly advised to leave this outside the interview room. Answer all questions clearly, specifically, and honestly. When you answer the interview question, listen carefully to the question. Take time to praise your responses and ask the interviewer to repeat the question if you're not sure what they are asking. Then, you must answer clearly, specifically, and honestly. Don't lie. Be poised and calm. Don't tremble when you interview. Don't move around too much because it will make the interviewer uncomfortable. Ask a few pertinent questions about the job. In the end, you will be asked if you have any question. Therefore, you should prepare some questions about the job, workplace, institution, and personal development on the job. Even if the panel has covered most of what you want to know, ask the question that is relevant and thought-provoking. This can show that you are genuinely interested in the role and really listening to the panel. Thank the interviewer for his or her time and shake hands. You can say, "Thanks for your time. I look forward to hearing back from you on next steps." That gives a clear indication of your interest in moving on to the next level.
So now I will explain to you about what we have to do during the interview. First of all, we have types of interview. The first type of interview is competency interview. Questions that ask are very structured for a particular job. For example, would you describe yourself as an organized person and what makes a good organizer? And for the second, we have strength-based interview. In this type of interview, interviewers will ask you a wide range of questions to get a good feel of your personal abilities and to see how you say it, to see if your tone, body language, and expression demonstrate a genuine motivation. They may ask questions such as, what do you do well? What do you love to do in your spare time? And for the third, we have academic job interview. For academic job interview, large panels are common. For postdoc jobs, 4 interviewers would be typical, but there can be up to 10 or more interviewers for permanent lectureship or fellowship. Some general questions to prepare for are, what courses can you teach and develop, and what do you think makes a good supervisor? Here are some general tips for your prepare, such as invite questions and thanks the audience. And for the fourth, we have behavioral interview. These look at past experience to model future behavior. The example is, what would you do if you were working on an important project and all of a sudden the priorities were changed. And then we have telephone and video interview. Here are the steps to make a successful interview. First, do the trial run before the interview. If you have never participated in a video interview, you can avoid embarrassing mistakes by taking a test run. Ask a friend to be your interviewer, then take half an hour to practice answering questions over Skype. This practice can calm nerves, address technical issues like bad sound quality, and remove potential distraction, like the poster on the wall behind you. The second is set up your camera and any headset or microphone ahead of time. Camera and microphone setup is very important for an online interview because they are the main projects of the show. If the camera and microphone are doing well, then the interview will be done perfectly. Third, we have the ideal background is tidy, distraction-free, quiet, and well lit. Don't forget about your surroundings. Be sure to set up your connection in a quiet, distraction-free zone. Be sure what is behind you is not distracting to the person conducting the interview and that the background provider a proper contrast to your profile. To third, we have dress professionally. Don't forget to dress for this interview. Just because you're at home doesn't mean you get to dress down. To look best on camera, avoid bright colors and patterns and opt for softer colors instead. If you are wearing a tie, wear a solid color rather than a patterned one. If you wear glasses, adjust the lighting in the room and reduce glare from the lenses. And the last, we have avoid making hand gesture which can shatter on the screen. On video, overhead lighting casts dark shadows, making you look underslept and ominous. Do a dry run before a video interview to check whether the lighting flatters you. You will do better with the side lighting or lighting from below. If you have to do more around the lamps in your room, so be it.
Situational interview question. Employers generally ask two primary types of interview question, behavioral and situational question. Behavior interview questions are based on the belief that job candidates will behave in ways that are similar to how they have behaved in the past and that your past work behavior will predict how you will work in the future. Behavior question asks about your work experience. For example, tell me about a time in a past job when blah 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 blah. And situational interview question asks job candidates to imagine a plausible set of work-related circumstances. They put you in a situation you may confront if you are hired. For example, how would you deal with an angry customer? Respond if you discover you have made mistake. So, how to answer this behavioral interview question? First, tell a story about a situation you encountered, such a problem or challenge the company faced. Number 2, describe the task or what you needed to do. Number 3, describe your action or how you respond. And number 4, describe the results such as how your action helped the company, lead into increase sales, or put the organization in a better place. Sample interview question. Number 1, sample beginning question. For example, let's open up with your interest in this role, or what skill or experience do you hope to gain working at our organization? Number 2, track record question. For example, why did or would you leave? Name of most recent or current organization. Number 3, result question. For example, describe the role in which you have been least effective and why. Number 4, cultural fit question. For example, what is important to you in a workplace, or what is your biggest pet peeve in a workplace? How to answer why we should hire you. Number 1, show that you have skills and experience to do the job and deliver great results. You never know what other candidates offer to the company, but you know you. So emphasize your key skills, strengths, talents, work experience, and professional achievement that are fundamental to getting great things done on this position. Number 2, highlight that you will fit in and be a great addition to the team. Show the interviewer that you have corresponding personal and professional traits that make you a great addition to the team. Identify the company's culture and the department's characters feature and tell the interviewer how you will fit in. Number 3, describe how hiring you will make their life easier and help them achieve more. Determine what problems they had so far, what new issues or goals they have now, and how your specific skills and experience can come in handy. Number 4, show enthusiasm for performing required duties, not just capability. Your application lets them know you are willing to do the work. Being called for the interview means they think you are capable. Apart from being lighting your skill and experience, show them your enthusiasm and prove you will have positive attitude towards your task. An interview. During the closing, you should summarize your main points, express your enthusiasm for the position, and ask about the next steps in the process. Be sure to ask your interviewer for a business card so you can follow up. Legal and illegal interview question. These are several things to be aware of in the interviews. Here is the examples. Number 1, race. Number 2, religion. Number 3, physical health. Number 4, pregnancy. And number 5, height and weight. Following up after an interview. So how to follow up after a job interview? Number 1, send an email or thank you card to everyone who interviewed you. Number 2, remind the interviewer why you are qualified, so your legitimate and altruistic interest in the job and why you are the best candidate for the job, including a quick highlight of applicable experience and skills. Number 3, address and correct any mistake you made. And number 4, mention anything you forgot to say during the interview.
How can we negotiate our salary? First, you can research and provide a range. Before coming to the interview location, you need to find out the applicable salary at the location of residence. Usually, the salary given is based on regional minimum wage or UMR, or the city minimum wage or UMK. The UMR and UMK size are not the same in each region. So you can do a survey regarding the minimum salary that the company will give. For example, the UMR in Jakarta at 2021 was around 4 million rupiah, while in the UMR Jogja was 3 million rupiah. Number 2, adjust to the capabilities you have. You can explain about your experience or skill you have to support that job. Number 3, wait the appropriate time. Wait for the right time to submit a rise. You can ask when financial company is good or stable. Number 4, calm down in submitting nominal. Give the reason why you are asking for the nominal salary. It is not impossible that after the interview is conducted, HRD will consider the nominal salary that you submit. Number 5, never give up if the salary you are asking is rejected. If the salary you are asking is rejected, don't be sad or don't be feel disappointed. Try to keep convincing HRD that you are able to take responsibility in this position. Also, explain the additional nominal value of the salary that you are submitting for the purpose of meeting or other needs. Number 6, negotiation salary via email. If you are unable to attend the interview while the HRD intends to ask for the amount of salary you want, there are still another alternatives. you can use email. The advantage is when you submit nominal salary, you're not face to face. Usually, you feel insecure or embarrassed. An important point that needs to be included when negotiating via email is an apology for not being able to come directly. Then you can proceed with submitting a nominal salary. And the last, negotiating job benefits. The first one, you can ask about better position. If you are in negotiation with HRD in a new workplace, ask him about can you change your position in the future. Second one is vacation. If your company have a average holiday is 2 weeks in 1 year, you can ask for 3 weeks in 1 year. The third is severance pay. There is no guarantee that the work you do today will remain the same a year or two from now. So, as your manager, if you cannot get a guaranteed severance package written into your contract, in particular, when the company becomes a company or you have to be laid off for a business decision you cannot refuse. This will protect you from unliteral layoffs because maybe the company will think again before a layoffs you. Number four is transportation cost. Sometimes you should go to meeting at outside of office, so you barely can get the incentive or transportation fee. Number five, holiday allowance. You can negotiate on holiday allowance. For example, Hari Raya Idul Fitri, Hari Raya Idul Adha, Christmas Day, China's New York, Waisak Day, and others day. And the last one is lunch allowance. The increasing popularity of online catering service makes the one facility worthy of being expected to provide a new salary office. With the availability of catering, you no longer need to bother thinking about what to eat for lunch at the office. You can also save your monthly expenses. And this is our presentation. Maybe you have any question, you can ask via Sibering or GCR and we'll be answer your question. Thank you for watching this presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.